So the next resolution is a resolution by Commissioner Mariano, formally declaring its support for the Constitution of the United States, including the Bill of Rights.
Resolution number 13154, whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida are governed by the United States Constitution, including the Bill of Rights, which guarantees civil liberties including freedom of religion, speech, assembly, and privacy, the right to keep and bear arms free of federal infringements, protection from unreasonable search and seizures, due process of law, and equal protection under the law to any person regardless of race, color, religion, gender preference, or orientation, or national origin. In addition to the presumption of innocence, access to counsel and the courts in judicial proceedings, and a fair, speedy, and public trial. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida explicitly declares that we view the powers of the federal government as resulting from the Constitution, to which the states, via we the people, are parties, as limited by the plain sense and intention of the instrument known as the Constitution, and that the government created by the Constitution was not made the exclusive, or it was not limited by the plain sense of intention of the instrument known as the Constitution, and that the government created by the Constitution was not made the exclusive or final judge of the extent of the powers delegated to it by we the people of the several states, since that would make its own discretion and not the Constitution the measure of its power. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida recognizes the county's diverse population, including immigrants and students, whose contributions to the community are vital to the economy, culture, and civic character. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida recognizes that the presentation of the civil rights and liberties in our entire community is essential to the well-being of our Republican form of government guaranteed to each state by the Constitution. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida believes that there is no inherent conflict between security interests and the preservation of liberty at home, and holds that individuals in Pasco can be safe and free. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida recognizes that government measures which undermine fundamental civil liberty interests do damage to the institutions of our republic and the values that the residents of the Pasco County hold dear. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida holds that the powers not granted to the general government under the Constitution remain with the people as prescribed in the Florida Constitution. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida recognizes that the Ninth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, which states the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the peoples, expresses the ratifiers' intention that the Constitution is a list of exceptions to federal power, and that the rights of the people are preserved in other ways as well. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida recognizes that the 10th Amendment of the Constitution, which states the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people as agreed to by the ratifiers, excludes the federal government from acting with non-enumerated powers, and that actions taken outside these enumerated powers extend beyond those granted by the Constitution and are in error. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners in Pasco County, Florida, affirms its steadfast support for the Bill of Rights enshrined as the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, and for the civil liberties of all people living within the county in accordance with the Bill of Rights. Be it resolved, be it further resolved, the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida call on our Governor, Attorney General, state representatives, and senators to review the implementation of both executive and congressional regulations and policies that violate our fundamental rights and civil liberties, including freedom of religion, speech, assembly, and privacy, the right to keep and bear arms free of federal infringements, protection from unreasonable search and seizures, due process of law, and equal protection under the law to any person regardless of race, color, religion, gender preference, or orientation, or national origin. In addition to the presumption of innocence, access to counsel and the courts in judicial proceedings, and a fair, speedy, and public trial, and to oppose any efforts by the federal government to weaken, abridge, or deny these rights to the citizens of Pasco County. The Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida express and declare our affirmation of these rights by sending a copy of this resolution to the Governor and Attorney General of the State of Florida, the President of the Florida Senate, the Speaker of the Florida House of Representatives, the State Delegation, and the Florida Delegation to Congress. Done and resolved this 19th day of March 2013.
Move approval. Second.
Discussion?
What I'm trying to figure, we all signed the oath of office. I believe in the Constitution. What is the purpose of this resolution? Is this coming forth because we were talking about doing something with the gun show loophole?
Yeah, it started with infringing on the Second Amendment rights, and then,
All right, okay.
and as Commissioner said, and I think the rest agreed, that why not do one for all of them? So that's why I brought this forward, for the
but
Constitution and the Bill of Rights, all in one.
So you're saying that then if we bring forth something down the road to say you should get a background check at gun shows, this is off the table, it's not even discussable?
I am saying I support the Constitution the way it's written and the way it's said.
All right,
You
so
can
do
bring
I.
up whatever you want to bring up, but I wanted to bring this point forward, and as I had the Second Amendment resolution that was supported from before, that didn't gather support. When the idea was brought up to support the whole Constitution, that's what I do, that's what we swore by, that's what we took an oath on.
What?
That's
It's
why I
a
brought it
political
forward.
ploy, Jack.
What was your ploy?
I just wanted to be able to see, this is the way I felt. I've gone to the NRA dinners. I go to the NRA dinners, they bid on guns. Nobody is handed a gun that day. They have to go to old-time gun show or place. They get a background check. All I wanted to see was a background check. My husband has guns. He's been a hunter. I'm not trying to take away anybody's rights. So I don't see any need for this. I support the Constitution of the United States of America. I support the Bill of Rights. I support Mr. Griffin out there to carry guns. He's a law-abiding citizen. He got background checks. I support all of that. But I do think we should be careful in this day and age, and if it's good when you go to a store, it should be just as good when you go to a gun show. And that's it.
Commissioner Starkey.
I was not able to read that resolution. I was out of the country till last night, and we've had technical difficulties, and that resolution is not here. So it seemed pretty, I mean, all I've heard of it is what was just read to me. So where did the wording come from? And, I mean, I support the Constitution. I'm a gun owner. I won the gun at the NRA dinner. And very happy to have my 9mm. But I don't know what I would be voting on, because all I know of it was what was just read. So I would need more time to study that. So I'm a little uncomfortable voting for something. But let me ask you, who wrote that? I mean, is that?
I mean, it came from Collier County.
The start of it came from Andrew Nappy from the Libertarian Group when he found out what was going on. He supplied that to me. We had our staff take a look at it. Mr. Steinschneider reviewed it because he trimmed it to what it says right now. Did you find anything objectionable in there?
I didn't have enough time to really listen to what it was saying in the legal ramifications of what we were voting on. So that's what makes me uncomfortable.
Who is Nat? I thought it came from another county. Who is Andrew Nat?
The Second Amendment came, the one I proposed last week,
Yeah.
the last meeting was from Collier County.
Oh, that's the one.
That was the
okay.
one there. This one here, when the suggestion was, let's do one for all the Bill of Rights and all the amendments to the Constitution, that's when I brought this one forward.
If we were voting on something that just said, I support the Bill of Rights, I would be very comfortable doing that. I mean, I did that when I was sworn in, and I don't mind stating that again, but I am not comfortable voting on something I don't really know what I'm voting on, so.
Would you rather leave it sit for 2 weeks and bring it back? Will you have time to read it?
Well, I think the last time you brought this up, Commissioner, it was pretty simple. We all support the Constitution, we all support the Bill of Rights. If you would like to present a resolution that simply states that, we all would be happy to sign
Yeah,
it.
just and leave it
That's
at
what we're
that.
doing, and
That'd
leave
be
it at
fine
that.
with me.
But don't go into the gun issue.
Well, there was all kinds of stuff in there. I don't see, I don't mind reaffirming that I support
No.
all the amendments.
My God, we're
So
so-
I have one commissioner who has signed this, so if you'd like to withdraw your motion, or we'll
It may die on its own.
I can hear you.
It may die on its own, but I'll keep the motion on the table.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Nay.
Motion fails.
So now the headlines will be, 3 commissioners do not support the Constitution of the United States. And I, seriously, wait a minute. I'm the oldest on this board. I'll be 75 in April. I've always been a good American, a good citizen. Mr. Griffin, you're shaking your head. I've worked very hard. When you called me on the phone, I answered. And let me tell you something. It is sad. Now we have, where is that reporter? Mr. Jackson. I'm sure we'll get a scathing editorial by him. I support the Constitution of the United States. I'm an American and I'm very proud of it. And for this to be done in my, what do I have, like 13 months of office, I think is a shame. And I'm really surprised at you, Jack, that to make a little political hay, you would do this. And I'm angry.